Money Talks. I'm your host, Bill Barhydt, founder and CEO at Abra. We've got a really exciting episode of Money Talks for you. This week, we're going to focus on the Abra interest account, a new product we just launched. I'm going to give you a demo of how it works. I've got a bunch of questions that are already coming in online on our YouTube channel. Looking over here, I see some already. We'll be processing those. And like I said, I'll be demoing how it works, explaining how we're able to generate 9% interest on US dollar deposits, and answering all your burning questions. So let's get into it. So let me give you a little bit of background on what we're talking about here. Okay, the Abra interest account is a new way to think about money. Not only can you hold crypto, not only can you trade between 100 different cryptocurrencies, you can actually deposit dollars which are converted to, the technology term is stable coins, and then earn interest on those stable coins. In this case, 9% interest. Wow, how is Abra able to do that when no other company, no other bank can even offer 1% interest? It's crazy, right? So we'll get into the details of that in a second. So from our perspective, this is a revolution, right? We're enabling you to earn 9% on US dollar deposits, 4% on crypto deposits, meaning Bitcoin and Ethereum to start. So for us, this is a slow, steady march towards becoming your global crypto bank, right? This is a major milestone for us. So we announced this on Tuesday. We've had millions of dollars of deposits this week in cash, in bank wires, in crypto. People are super excited about this. If you're curious about which stable coins we're going to support out of the gate, we're supporting TrueUSD, Tether, USDC, PAX for earning 9% interest. And the cryptocurrencies we're going to support are Bitcoin and Ethereum. All right. So the interest account is a breakthrough for all types of investors. For the first time, investors can make US dollar or crypto deposits into an app and then automatically earn interest on those deposits of up to 9%. And I'm going to show you how we accomplish that. So funds can be deposited via bank wire. If you're in the US, you can use ACH. In the Philippines, for example, or in Central America, where we run a cash teller network, you can walk into a store like 7-Eleven and deposit money and have that money converted to dollars and then earn interest. You can use an external crypto wallet if you're holding Tether on an exchange or Bitcoin in your hardware wallet and you want to earn interest on that. You can now safely store it in Abra and earn interest on that money. So as I said, we've seen a large volume of registrations just in the first 72 hours since we turned on this feature. We have a backlog of users waiting to get in. So we're working as fast as we can to get through the line. So you might want to register ASAP. We're working from the back of the line and making our way forward. So if you're wondering, why would Abra do this, right? Abra is a crypto company. We started out, offering the ability to buy, sell, hold, and trade myriad cryptocurrencies. But our mission has always been to democratize access to financial services, right? And so we created Abra to have a single app where users can save, invest, send, trade, and now earn. And Abra is the only global app that makes it truly easy to do all of these things. And we find it ridiculous that banks earn a huge income stream on your deposits, but consumers effectively earn nothing. So we're going to change that. Abra is the app that we want for ourselves as Abra employees and founders. And we think this is the app that our users are telling us that they want. So how does the Abra interest account work? Abra interest accounts are accessible only from the Abra app, okay, on the iPhone and Android. These are a new type of account inside the Abra app. We partnered with Prime Trust, a US chartered trust bank based in Nevada, to issue these accounts. We've been working with Prime Trust on this for a long time. We've been testing it internally. I'm going to show you my Abra app, and you can see what I've been doing to test this. And once you've registered for the Abra interest account in the Abra app, your personal details will be verified by Prime Trust, not by Abra. And this can either be instant, it can take a few hours depending upon the details you provided, and it's global. So this works anywhere in the world, right? Whether you're in Guatemala or Mexico or the United States or the UK, you can open an Abra interest account. So after being approved, you'll receive a push message to your Abra app. You can deposit your US dollar stablecoins, Bitcoin, or Ethereum into the Abra interest account. We update the interest rates offered weekly. Rates are set similar to how a bank sets rates for cash deposits, with the difference being that the rates we're able to offer are much higher than what a bank typically offers on US dollar deposits. So how is Abra able to offer a 9% interest rate on US dollar deposits when a bank can't even offer 1%? The answer is Abra's institutional lending desk. Our lending desk, run by our Chief Investment Officer, Young Cho, who we'll have on another episode of Money Talks and get into this in a little bit more detail, who's a veteran of the lending business, enters into lending relationships with borrowers throughout the crypto universe. As our volume of assets under management, or commonly referred to as AUM, continues to grow, we will continue to diversify the crypto investment portfolio in order to continually lower this risk. All new potential institutional borrowers go through Abra's investment committee process, which reviews the borrowers and determines a risk profile, which sets all kinds of various parameters for terms, including interest rates, collateral requirements, and other relevant terms. Ultimately, our investment committee, I'm a part of the investment committee, must approve all new institutional borrowers. So we have big plans to grow our institutional lending desk at Abra in the coming months in order to meet this exploding demand for crypto assets. We plan to add other cryptocurrencies to the Abra interest account in the coming weeks and months, so stay tuned for that. All right, so let's get into this. Let's see, we've got some burning questions here. Let me see. Oh wow, so lots of questions. Are USD deposits FDIC insured? So let me clarify what's going on here. So when you come in via bank wire, right, you're holding dollars for a short moment, and in the Abra app, those dollars are converted to a stablecoin. We use True USD for that. Okay. Once your deposits are converted to True USD, they're not in a bank anymore. They're a cryptocurrency which is pegged to the US dollar. So at that point, there's no bank involved, and so FDIC is not relevant at that point, or bank insurance is not relevant at that point because your funds are no longer in a bank. Okay. We use Prime Trust as a legal custodian, as a trust company, but you're no longer holding real dollars at that point. You're holding something which is the equivalent of dollars, which is this stable coin, which we then invest to earn your 9% interest. Okay. Yes, the Abra supports fiat. Should I use Abra to store my money? That is a great question. So we're already seeing people in different countries, and I wrote about this in the newsletter, use Abra as a bank account replacement because your local government currency may be failing. We've seen this in Venezuela. We've seen it in Argentina. We've seen it in Zimbabwe, different parts of Africa. We've seen it in different parts of Asia. Our government is printing money at an unbelievable rate, but at least the dollar seems to be maintaining its status as a global reserve currency. So a lot of people are coming into Abra as a way to hold dollars as opposed to their government-issued currency. And we love that. And you can come in via Bitcoin, convert that to dollars, come in via other stable coins, and earn interest on that money. So we welcome that. I wrote about this in the newsletter this week. My perspective is that government currencies are failing at an alarming rate. Now, I have done a lot of research on this, and over hundreds of years, literally hundreds of government-issued currencies have failed, and I'm not exaggerating. The number's in the hundreds. And so the reality is, historically, every government-issued currency will fail, but the dollar seems to be like it's going to, well, my perspective is the dollar is likely going to be the last one to go. That doesn't mean it won't go. So if you choose to hold your money in something other than Bitcoin, or at least part of it, Abra is a great way to do that. Okay, why don't I do this? Let me give you a demo. We've got a bunch of more questions and comments. I'm going to go back and forth. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to give you a quick demo here. I've got a couple of phones. This is my Android phone. Now this Android phone I just upgraded a few minutes ago, literally a few minutes ago before the show, to the new version of Abra so that you could see fresh what this looks like. I've got about $60 in my trading account. Here's the phone, which you can see on the left side of your screen there. Now on the right there's a new tab called Interest Account. So I'm going to click I'm just clicking here what you see on the screen. I'm going to click on that interest account and you can see the directions. It says make money by holding balances on any Abra interest account. Tap any crypto below to get started. So let's say that my intent is to store dollars as True USD. I can click on True USD and it's going to, if I click add True USD, right, now I have to basically register. It's quick and easy. I simply, as a US person, I would scan my driver's license, and I'll show you what that looks like. And I take a picture of my photo ID. And generally what we're seeing is for people who have a good quick scan, the approval is real time, automatic in about a minute. People who are outside the US, right now, we're only taking passports. We hope to take other IDs in the future, but right now it's passport only. Those we try to dynamically approve. If not, they go to Prime Trust for manual processing, and we're processing that backlog as fast as we can. Okay, so as soon as that comes out of approval, you will basically be able to, let me just get back in here. You will be able to deposit or transfer True USD, in this case, from my trading account to my interest account. Now let me go to my personal phone here. So this is my Abra account, and we also use this for testing, so pardon the large balance. And so you'll see I already have the interest account turned on, and you'll see that I use Pax for USD. I've got ETH, I've got some Bitcoin in this test account, all earning interest. And you can see on the right-hand side the interest rates. So now let's say I have, if I go back to my trading account, I have $17 in there. Let's say I want to earn interest on that $17. So I can go back to my interest account. I'm going to click on interest earning True USD, and I'm going to add more True USD to my interest account by clicking on add TUSD. And at that point, I can just, let's say I'm going to just transfer $7 to my interest account, and I'm going to leave $10 and change there for trading later. I click review. Click confirm. I've now moved $7 from my trading account to my interest account, and I'm earning 9% on that extra money. And my balance on my True USD has just gone up $7. Okay, so I've got a bunch of money in my Pax and then some money in my True USD. We manage the balances separately simply because you can withdraw that money, and some people like to manage those balances separately. In the future, we may combine them into one USD balance for you as a reference balance, but for now, we show them as individual stablecoin balances. Okay, so that's it. It's literally that simple. I can do the same with Bitcoin. I can do the same with Ethereum. On the right-hand side, we show you the interest rate. The interest rate will update weekly and dynamically. And all you have to do, by the way, every Monday morning, and I've been testing this for a few weeks, you simply get a push message for each one of your wallets here in your Abra interest account, which says you've now got a interest payment for your Pax. You've now got an interest payment for your ETH. So if I click on my Pax, you can see I've gotten a $42 interest payment last week, et cetera, et cetera. So this is fantastic, right? So there's nothing more exciting on a dull Monday morning than getting a really cool push notification to your phone which says you've got money. And sorry for the 90s you've got mail reference there. All right, so let's get back to some questions. What do we got here? So let's see. Are you exposed with a high financial leverage on this program? That's a very good question. So Abra and our consumers are not exposed with any kind of excessive financial leverage. What we do is we work with our institutional lending desk to assess the risk profiles of individual borrowers based upon balance sheets and other potential collateral requirements, and then come up with a scoring model for them, which determines how much collateral they have to put up for a loan in crypto. So, for example, I may be borrowing True USD collateralized in Bitcoin, right? And that could be 1-to-1. It could be a portion of that. It could be over collateralized, depending upon the risk profile of who we're dealing with. And then that drives also interest rate and other terms that go into this. How do you offset potential credit risk on your institutional borrowers, any concentration risks, or meaningful geographic diversity? Now, that's a really good question. So diversity is a key pillar to our strategy. Now, we're just getting started. We've been at this for 3 days. As I said, we've seen millions in deposits coming in through all the myriad wallet deposit channels. And it's definitely been one of our largest deposit weeks ever. So clearly, after 3 days, the word is getting out and people are excited, but it's still early days. So what our strategy and our goal over time is to diversify that lending portfolio over multiple geographies, multiple lending partners, and different multiple lending products. And so that will limit any kind of exposure per your question over time. And we also have other products planned on the lending front that I'm not going to go into today that further diversify Abra and our consumers and greatly diminish risk over time in a way that no one else in the crypto space has even been thinking about, to our knowledge. Okay, so we'll have more to say about that. But you're thinking the right way with that question for sure. And rest assured, Abra has been thinking about this for a very long time, long before this product launched, and has put a lot of processes in place to deal with that. Will you have to report your interest earned to the IRS if you don't take profit from your interest earned? I am not a tax consultant. I am not a tax advisor. IRS refers to the Internal Revenue Service, which is a U.S. question. We have customers in 100 countries. So you'll have to consult your own tax advisor. Generally, my understanding, though, is you only report income when you generate that income. So if you're holding something and don't sell it, the answer would be you don't have capital gains. But if you get an interest payment, that may be a capital gain immediately. And to deal with that, if you click on, if you go back to your trading account, you can download your transaction history. If you see, I scroll down here, my transaction history, I can download that and use that for filing my taxes. So you may have to pay taxes on those interest payments in the year which they were received. I would assume that's the case. But again, I'm not a tax advisor, so please consult your own tax authorities or advisor for that locally. Should I move all my Bitcoin from my Abra trading account to the Abra interest account? Is there any reason? So that's a good question. The answer is yes, there is a reason. So if you're actively trading that Bitcoin every day or every week, then you'll want to leave it in the trading account for sure. Okay. But if you're just hodling, if you're holding Bitcoin long term and you want to get an extra free 4%, then yes, by all means, move it to the interest account. Don't just leave it in the trading account because you're giving up free money. Now, we don't know what's in your head. We don't know whether you're planning to trade. We don't know whether you're planning to just earn interest. We don't know what you're going to do. So it's up to you to decide. But if you are just planning to buy and hold, by all means, you should move the money, move the crypto, move the stable coins over to the interest account over here on the right-hand side by just clicking on interest, click on Bitcoin at the bottom, click add BTC, right? I don't have any Bitcoin. They've all been moved to my interest account in this demo wallet. And you can move your Bitcoin with a couple of clicks over. Now, if you need access to that Bitcoin again for trading, you can simply move it out. It takes anywhere from 1 to 7 days. We quote a maximum of 7 days to move money out of the interest account. It may happen faster, but it's not like we're holding it you have to give it up for months or years or anything like that. It's not a CD for the US folks who know what a certificate of deposit is. It's your money, you have access to it, okay? So great question. What is the risk if we collect interest? Can we lose principal? 9% seems high risk lending. Okay, so your principal is definitely at risk. However, Abra has gone to great lengths to make this really function more like a high yield investment with minimal risk to you as a consumer via all the means that I described before. Via the institutional lending desk that we run that vets all the lending partners, that collateralizes loans based upon the risk profile of the borrower, and sets rates accordingly, which should represent very, very reasonable risk to myself as a user, as well as you as an Abra user at the same time. Okay, how would you compare the decentralized nature of the various Bitcoin options on Ethereum, like Rent BTC, TBTC, SBTC, and the risk factors of them? So, look, it's very early days when it comes to DeFi. I'm a little skeptical that everything has been fully battle tested. Billions of dollars is flowing into this stuff. And we've seen this before with DAO and other things where bugs in these contracts turn into a disaster. So tread very carefully. I think the advantage of companies like Abra right now, who are able to offer these interests, doing not dissimilar things in many ways to what the DeFi protocols are trying to do. In some cases, they are trying to do more ambitious things. I would just tread very, very carefully. I would not put a significant percentage of my net worth in a DeFi system today. I would, however, trust a company like Abra working with a regulated, chartered trust company to deal with those funds today. Because you know where they are, right? You have recourse and things like that. So I'm bullish on DeFi long term, but tread carefully in the short term, I guess is my response. What is the max allowed in the 9% interest account? How do you get the money out? Excellent question. Okay, so there's no limit on how much crypto you can deposit or how much money you can deposit into the Abra interest account. So you see here in this demo account, we actually have over $60,000 in there. You can literally put $10 million in there if you want. Go for it. We're working on increasing the bank wire limits. Right now, you can deposit an infinite amount of cryptocurrency, any amount of stablecoin, any amount of Bitcoin, any amount of Ethereum, and you will earn interest. If you want to withdraw the funds, so let's say I want to withdraw some of my ETH. So I see the interest earning ETH at the second row here. I'm going to click on that. And you see the menu at the top with the 3 dots. I'm going to click on that menu and it says transfer funds to trading ETH. That allows me to take the ETH in my interest account, transfer it out of the interest account to my trading account. And that allows me to trade it, withdraw it from Abra, whatever, or sell it for dollars, whatever I want to do. Okay? So that's how that works. And by the way, let me go back to that ETH. I'll go back to the Bitcoin wallet. I click on that menu. We've got some really good FAQs. So if I click on this FAQ, there's a web page there that will show me all the details on the interest account. And there's a whole bunch of other FAQs behind that about all of the details that I'm talking about here today as well. Who is providing you with the interest rates? Is that information public? So the institutional lending desk puts relationships in place with all kinds of different borrowers. Abra itself signs a non-disclosure agreement with most of these borrowers because their businesses, they run their own business and they don't want the public knowing, the details, all the confidential details of their proprietary business because they don't want people copying what they're doing. And so generally they look to keep what they're doing confidential, but Abra itself vets those companies very, very carefully. One of the things I'd love to do is figure out a disclosure model around different kind of exposure, how much assets under management we have, things like that, and we'll get into that. We're very early days. Like I said, this is day 4 since we launched this. The assets under management are growing very quickly, but I feel very confident that the processes we've put in place to manage risk here are appropriate and are going to make money for everyone in a way that is safe and secure. Okay, so I always hear if you leave your money in the exchange, it's not your coin, it's the exchange's. That is not true. So exchanges are regulated money service businesses. If they're holding your money, they are regulated in a similar way that a money transfer company or any kind of prepaid debit card company is regulated, and they're holding money on your behalf. They have a fiduciary responsibility to you as a consumer, and their money transmitter licenses or MSB registration, or in some case, some exchanges are regulated as bank trusts. They have obligations to you first and foremost as a consumer. So the entities that we work with, in this case, for our trading accounts, we work with companies like Bittrex and Prime Trust. as our exchange on the interest account side, they have legal obligations to you first and foremost as a consumer. And that's why you should feel better about this approach versus just a go-it-alone approach. And we've tried everything here in terms of different technology approaches over the years. And this is the approach that we feel is most comfortable for the average consumer that we work with. Congratulations. Thank you very much. We've worked really hard on this, so appreciate that. Another one, this is awesome. This is much better than having my deposits sitting in a savings account for less than 1% in the Philippines. Great job, Abra. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Let's see what else. We talked about the creditworthiness of the borrowers. Quick question on Cardano staking. When will Abra be supporting Cardano staking / interest payouts? Excellent question. So as you can see here in my demo wallet, I've got a bunch of Cardano, and so pretty bullish there. I've talked about it in the past. By the way, shout out to Charles and the Cardano team on their Shelly launch this week for their new product and the upgrade there. I think it's pretty exciting and looking forward to what they do. So the question was specifically about staking, and in this case Cardano, but I'll extrapolate that to all kind of staking protocols and staking coins. This is something that we're looking at. And there's no reason, if I go back here to my interest account, that I can't just have staking coins. I can't list Cardano, EOS, and other, even Ethereum, when it migrates to proof of stake. So that's something that my team is actively looking at and how to do that. There's a bunch of requirements for that are a little bit different than just the interest earning. It'll look the same to you if and when we do it, but in the background, it actually works a little bit differently if it's staking based. So that's something that I've asked the team to figure out. We're working on it. It's a priority for me, and the moment we have it, you'll know about it. So stay tuned for that. Oh my God, coming in fast and furious now. Let's see. How can I make a transfer / ACH from my USA bank savings to this new 9% interest account if my Abra app was registered from Guatemala? So that is a good question. I am not sure of the answer to that question. That's a new one. So I think the easiest thing to do here is to send an email to support@abra.com. That's support@abra.com. Copy and paste the question and mention that I read it on the air and couldn't answer it. I believe if you have a US account and you have a login and password and it's supported by Plaid. So if I go to add money, see at the bottom, I'm going to click add money, and I use bank ACH transfer, I can add a new bank. If that bank is supported here, you should be able to add it. If you're in Guatemala and you don't see the add bank function, I believe the support team can turn it on for you, but I'm not 100% sure of that. So we'll follow up offline on that. Thank you for the really good question. I love the hard questions because that means you're really interested in the product. Are you going to offer any custodian crypto account on Abra in the future? So technically we do. The trading accounts and the interest accounts are custodial accounts. You have online access to those custodial accounts, but our custodian partner in both cases is holding the crypto on your behalf. So in the case of a trading account, right, these currencies are in my trading account, a partner is custodying those cryptos for you. In the case of the interest account, we work with Prime Trust, who's a U.S. Trust charter, I don't know the technical term, chartered trust company, I believe is the technical term, out of Nevada. And so yes is the answer to that question. We have that now. Congrats on the launch, Bill. Thank you very much. How long do you think the current interest rates will persist? I'm wondering if earnings will offset fee to move dollars back and forth. Excellent question. So obviously I don't have a crystal ball. I think our timing here is very good. We're seeing very high demand for these crypto assets, which is driving the rates high right now. And so I talked to my team about this just last night, and we don't really see any immediate visibility into the rates coming down at all. Certainly in this, by the way, this changes literally hour by hour. So the answer to this question might be different in 6 hours, but right now it's 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. I have no visibility into the rates changing. They could go up a little bit, they could come down a little bit in the near term, but right now the demand is very high, and so I would say they're not very volatile rates to the downside, and so I think you're pretty good there. If you're really focused on just earning interest, park the money, leave it. You don't have to look at it. If you're going to actively trade, right, and you're going to move Bitcoin to dollars, it's fine. You can just move it back and forth. You might have to wait a few days to do that. So just keep that in mind to make your own kind of strategy as to what you want to do, right? So I've separated funds that I use for trading and funds that I use just literally for earning interest and have my savings. And I would much rather have that money in Abra earning 9% than I would in a bank earning, effectively zero and basically being eroded by inflation. All right. Congrats on the launch, Bill. Great work. Thank you very much. Let's see. I see some bank deposits cannot be withdrawn for 60 days. If I buy Bitcoin, then sell it for my own currency, will it still be held 60 days if I want to withdraw? So this is a US specific question. In the US, we offer two ways to deposit money from your bank account. And of course, you can deposit cryptocurrency. If you deposit cryptocurrency, you can trade it, withdraw it, exchange it, put it back in the interest-bearing account anytime you want, all right? If you come in via ACH by typing in your bank login and password, there may be a hold on the funds because the fraud rates on those type of transactions are very, very high. Now, during that time, you can trade it, you can move it to the interest-bearing account so that you can actually earn interest on it if there happens to be a hold on it. But that's simply the way the system works, and it will tell you if you want to withdraw the funds when you can. But in that case, it's much better to just put the money in your interest-bearing account and earn interest after you make the initial deposit. Okay, so let's see. We've got more questions coming in. Wow, great questions always. You guys are awesome. Who is providing you with the interest rate? Is that information public? Yes, that information is public. I described it in the newsletter. It's on our website. Just to mention it again, we set the interest rate. The interest gets paid via Prime Trust, our partner, but the interest rate is basically set by a more or less a net sum of the interest that we're receiving from the institutional lending desk on your funds. Okay, and so the demand for any of these currencies is cryptocurrency or stablecoins is what effectively sets that rate and is the reason why the rates will be reset every week, because the demand can go up or down. As I said, the demand right now is relatively high, which is why the rates are so high, and we're excited about that. We don't have a lot of visibility to those rates coming down, and that's good. Okay, so let's see. By the way, just doing a Bitcoin check. Volatile morning, we're at 11,300. So interesting. The bid ask is 11,301, 11,305. So that's good. Do you rehypothecate any asset that is held in the interest account? That is a good question. So rehypothecation is a sophisticated bank term for basically lending out collateral. So let's say you borrow, let's say you borrow $1 million and you give me your jewelry, as collateral for that. If I lend out the jewelry to somebody else to earn more interest, I have effectively rehypothecated your collateral. That's what the term means. So the answer is Abra may rehypothecate the collateral in some instances. However, the risk controls on rehypothecation are even stricter than they are for normal lending, because we have to be very careful about that. Because you can basically, that can spiral if you don't know what you're doing. So be very careful about who you work with. Just being able to borrow money from someone it's not that simple, right? So Abra has gone to great lengths to put together a very professional, above board, completely legit operation in terms of how we do this lending, and our investment committee analyzes this very, very carefully. And so, and also, if companies aren't disclosing the fact that they do this, that's a big red flag. And so what we're telling you is it may happen on occasion, but we're very careful about who we choose to work with to do that and how that collateral process works. Okay, and that's what drives the rates, right? That's a factor in the equation. And as I mentioned, there's other things we're looking to do on the lending side that will ultimately impact. Sorry, I'm looking at more questions coming in, and let's see, getting some duplicate questions. And yes, one more here. can you explain how, if I want to earn interest on Bitcoin and I'm holding True USD, how do I earn interest on Bitcoin? Excellent question. All right. So I'm going to go back here to my trading account. Okay. And you see that I have True USD. Now I have no Bitcoin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy some Bitcoin. Right. I'm going to actually exchange, click on exchange, and I'm going to convert some True USD to Bitcoin by clicking on Bitcoin. Right. So I'll basically convert $7.50 to Bitcoin. And I've just bought Bitcoin. All right. Now let's say that I want to earn interest on that Bitcoin. Well, now I go into my interest account. I'm going to click on the interest account button in the upper right here, or the tab, interest account. And I'm going to click on interest earning BTC on the screen. And I'm going to add that BTC. I have to wait a few minutes because I just did the conversion. It takes a couple of minutes to settle. So you'll see here, if I go back to my trading account, when all of the Bitcoin is available, I think it will work now. So I'll go back to Bitcoin. I'll click add BTC. I'll click 750. Oh, let me just use the entire balance here. Okay, so I'm going to convert my entire balance to interest earning, right? Click review. I've now converted my Bitcoin balance from my trading account to my interest earning account, and I can go back there and see that my interest earning BTC balance has gone up. And if I go back to my trading account, I can see that my Bitcoin balance has gone to zero because that money is now in my interest account. It's that simple. All right, good question. Let's see what else is going on. What is the aggregate loan to value of the portfolio? That's another sophisticated question. It basically means what is the portion of the portfolio that has been lent out versus the portion that we have basically in custody from you. So generally right now it's 1-to-1, meaning we're lending out the assets under management in order to generate the yield. I'm not aware of any rehypothecation going on. So we'll talk about that more in coming weeks. I would love to put up a website to start to disclose some of those values. A lot of our customers, this is beyond their kind of banking knowledge. So they're relying on Abra to do that right. But we think the influencers and the people that understand that should be able to access that information. That's something that we'd be happy to figure out how to start to disclose. We're still a relatively small company, so we don't have a huge amount of resource, but that's something I think we'd be willing to do if we can figure out how to do it without taxing the company. If the demand is high, shouldn't the interest rates be low? No, it's the opposite. So if consumers are depositing money and there's huge demand on the borrow side, that is driving the interest rates up, right? So I'm not talking about huge demand on the deposit side. Abra is getting huge demand on deposits, but the interest on the borrow side is even higher right now than the demand that we can keep up with, okay? And so yes, so the demand I'm referring to here when I talk about interest rates is the borrower, the people that are basically we're investing in to generate that yield. I hope that makes sense. Let's see. You guys always have the best questions. So let's see, more questions. I'm getting some repeat questions here, so I'm going to not do that right now. I think this is somebody who joined late. How do you register for the interest-bearing account? What information is required? I showed that up front. Let me just take 10 seconds and show really quick. I'm going to go back to my Android phone here, my demo phone. This is an app that's just been upgraded. So if I click on interest account and it says make money by holding balances. If I click on any of these, let's say I want to add ETH to earn interest, I click on that. When I click on add ETH for the first time, it's going to ask me to identify myself to our partner Prime Trust, who is the legal custodian of your interest earning ETH. And so I'd simply have to start the application, take a picture of my photo ID, upload that to Prime Trust/Abra, and I'm off to the races. So I'm not going to do that right now. Try again. Just go back. Okay. So once I've done that, then I can come back to the demo that we were using before, and you'll see that you're able to make the deposits directly into that account. It's that simple. Many cases, the approval is automated and happens in like 90 seconds or 60 seconds. And in some cases, you get put in a queue for more processing. If you use a flash to take a picture of your ID, for example, maybe some character becomes unreadable by the computer. Okay, that simple. Keep the questions coming. Let's see, we've got more here. This is really awesome. The ability to earn 9% interest is just incredible. Really good job, Abra team. Thank you very much. When will you be adding more cryptocurrencies to the interest earning product? Excellent question. So there's a few factors that go into that. I talked about the demand on the borrow side. So we look at all of that demand, meaning whether it's for dollars or Bitcoin or Ether, or maybe even other coins like, let's say, Litecoin or XRP or EOS or Cardano, which was mentioned before as a staking coin. And basically based upon that demand, make decisions about what should be in the interest earning account. If something is going to earn 0.5% interest in the crypto world, it's probably not yet ready for this. But we're seeing some coins that we are going to add because the interest earnings potential is high enough to us to justify adding that coin to the mix. Okay, so that's coming. Thanks for taking our questions. You're welcome. This is from Gaurav again. Is it all cryptos, or do you also take other assets as collateral, securities or real estate? Yeah, so given the global nature of this product and the way it works, we only take crypto collateral, regardless of who the borrower is. And so in some cases, that collateral could be dollars, which gets converted to a stable coin. So in pretty much all cases, it's a cryptocurrency, whether it's a stable coin or another crypto like Bitcoin or Ethereum. But we're not taking jewelry or houses or boats or yachts or anything like that as collateral. That's not our gig. So smart question. Good job there. And let's see. Another question about interest rates. I think we've already touched on that. What will drive interest rates? Again, that's the demand on the borrow side. And how often does Abra pay interest, and is the interest compounded daily? So Abra pays interest weekly, but the interest is compounded daily. So meaning you're earning interest every day. We make the payment once a week. And yeah, that's it. It's that simple. And every Monday morning, like I said, I've been testing this myself. One of my favorite things now on Monday is getting that push message in my Abra app saying you've earned interest. I love that. It's just so cool. And I get one push message for each of my Abra wallets. So I get one for ETH, one for Bitcoin, one for Pax, one for TrueUSD. I love it. If you gotta get a message on a Monday morning, it may as well be that you've got free money. All right. So we talked about how do I move funds between my interest account and trading account. It's very simple. You go into I'm going to go back to the app. I'm going to move Bitcoin out, right? So I click on my Bitcoin account. I click on the three dots in the upper right corner, transfer funds to trading BTC. I'm going to withdraw, 0.001 Bitcoin. And right, it may take up to 7 days. Usually it happens faster. Depends on what you're doing. And now in a few days or a few hours, I'm going to get a message that the Bitcoin that I moved out of my interest account is now available in my trading account. From there, I can trade it. I can sell it for dollars. I can withdraw it to my hardware wallet, whatever I want to do. Okay. So that's withdraw. It's super simple, as the Abra team always makes it. And why do I have to provide additional documents to Prime Trust? Okay, so you are working with effectively a regulated bank entity in the United States, and they have to follow all of the same rules as any other bank. They cannot work with customers they don't know. They are responsible for following, in the United States, the Patriot Act, the Bank Secrecy Act, and the list goes on and on and on. And as a result, they have to know who their customers are. Okay, it's that simple. Who is Prime Trust? Excellent question. So Prime Trust is a Nevada chartered bank trust company. They manage billions of dollars in assets. They work with lots of companies in the cryptocurrency space. They're very well known in our world. They're very well run. The CEO is the real deal. Great guy. Very impressive team. So shout out to them for all the hard work that they've done to get this service live. This has been a big tag team effort between Abra Operations, Abra Engineering, Prime Trust Compliance, Prime Trust Engineering, et cetera, et cetera. So we're just in constant, it's more or less, part of it's become like one big team. And so we're really grateful for their efforts in getting this done. This is a first of its kind service, and they went above and beyond to help us get this done. Let's see, so we've got more questions. I'm just trying to filter out the ones that have already been answered. Thanks for taking our questions. You're very welcome. How can someone earn interest on BTC if BTC is limited to 21 million total, 18 million in circulation? More to the point, wouldn't interest create more BTC than can eventually be settled? So if you go out to infinity, of course that's true. Meaning I can't create BTC from thin air, right? We're always getting that BTC from someone else. The reality is if somebody's borrowing Bitcoin, they're paying back the Bitcoin plus interest. Now, if they're using that Bitcoin as dollars, let's say, when they borrow it, they have to buy more Bitcoin to pay us interest. And if everybody was doing that, it would drive the price up. So that's yet another really interesting side effect or byproduct of this offering, is that at scale, it should have a very positive effect on the liquidity and hopefully the price of Bitcoin. So yes, we cannot create our own Bitcoin. And if everybody was paying interest at the same time at massive scale, right, it would drive the price of Bitcoin to infinity. And that's not tenable. So we'll see how this evolves. Interest payment products in deflationary assets like Bitcoin at massive scale will work very differently than in traditional banking, because in traditional banking, the government can create more money from nothing, which is why they're basically, or how they're trying to save our economy right now by just pressing the print button. There is no print button in Bitcoin. So very astute question. We'll see how that plays out over many, many years. My prediction is that the net effect is it will drive the price and liquidity of Bitcoin and other assets up, which is great for all of us. And so we're thrilled to play any part in that we can. Are these interest accounts the same as DeFi? They are not, okay? You are effectively trusting Abra and Prime Trust as the custodian of this wallet to invest and manage that cryptocurrency appropriately. In the DeFi system, you're trusting the software programmers who create the DeFi product, and you're also trusting what's called the pricing oracle system. The term DeFi I have a major problem with because it's not truly decentralized. DeFi to me implies there's no off switch, and once you've invested the money, it's guaranteed to be there. That's not true. There's no such thing as a DeFi system with no off switch today. So I think in the short term, what we're doing here is a much better approach. It's safer. We're able to manage the investments faster. We're able to pay higher interest rates, and a whole other reasons. And I'm a technologist, and so I want DeFi to work. I really do. Nothing would make me happier than to get the government out of that equation. But that's not where we're at today. Okay, so I'm super bullish on the future of DeFi. We're just not there yet, and so a lot of people are taking big risks with a lot of money in the short term. I hope it ends well, and I hope it gets even better. But just be careful, right? And this is not DeFi what we're doing here. The net effect is similar, but it's much better managed than what a DeFi system can provide today. And that may change, and I suspect it will change. And I hope that Abra can adopt certain DeFi technologies over time to offer an even better set of products to our customers when the technology is ready. And Abra hopes to take part in the development of that technology as well. More questions. What differentiates Abra from other platforms like BlockFi? That's a great question. I'm not an expert on what other companies are doing. I can only speak to what Abra is doing, but I do know a few things. One, Abra is the only company now that has a very deep trading set of accounts where you can basically buy, sell, hold, and trade over 100 cryptocurrencies, depending on which country you're in, and at the same time earn significant interest on Bitcoin, Ether, and Ethereum and stablecoin deposits. I know of no other wallet provider or app or a service that has any breadth of service that we now provide in those two areas, with the ability to move coins back and forth between the two. So, and with the highest rates that I've seen. I haven't seen anybody else paying 9% and be able to do everything I'm talking about in terms of trading. So I think Abra is a party of one with those capabilities. Yes, there are other great companies out there in crypto. Some of the CEOs are good friends of mine that are also offering interest. And we want a rising tide to lift all boats in the crypto space, and we support each other, okay? But I do think that Abra has some really unique advantages versus other companies that are out there. And we want everyone in our space to succeed, but we're also gonna work super hard to differentiate ourselves, as I think we've done with this killer product. So great questions. Will Prime Trust send US citizens a 1099 for the interest earned for tax purposes? So you're not earning bank interest in the traditional sense. You're earning an investment return on a crypto asset, whether it's a stablecoin or a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin or Ethereum. So as such, it wouldn't be a 1099 INT for Americans, sorry for the jargon for the non-Americans. You would simply download your transaction history. So again, if I go into my Abra app, download transaction history, I will basically be able to generate my own report for my tax filing for what my gains are to determine whether I have to pay capital gains or some other tax or income tax or whatever is appropriate for those transactions. So we give you the tools to do that, but it's not interest in the way that a bank normally pays interest with an INT. I believe it would be capital gains, but again, I'm not a tax advisor. I don't play one on TV. It's not something that I'm an expert on. I'm just giving you what I think is probably the answer, but we need to research this ourselves, and each one of us needs to do our homework, and I pay people to do that for me as well come April every year. Okay, are you planning to add a web-based interface? Seems like you currently only support smartphones, iOS and Android. That is true. Right now, Abra is 100% smartphone-based. A very common feature request for us is a web interface. It's something that we've looked at doing now that we've migrated to a fully custodied solution. Having a web solution is much more realistic, and this is something that we definitely want to do. We're more focused right now on some of these lending-oriented features, and there's some other stuff coming down the pipe and payment features, but it's on the list, and we do talk about web interface, so it's something that we're aware of. I don't have a timeline for it, but I can tell you personally it's something that we would very much like to do. Will we be able to deposit fiat and withdraw crypto in the same day? Yes, I believe depending upon where you're based, you can already do that now. So for bank wires, the moment the bank wire hits the Abra app, you can convert it to crypto and withdraw immediately. Okay, that's always been true. For ACH, you can transfer the deposit the same day to your interest-earning account, but you have to wait for some settlement time in order to withdraw out of the app. So if you need the funds the same day, then you're going to have to go with either bank wire, credit card, or depositing other form of crypto to convert and get out. Okay. If I put in 1 BTC in the interest account, do I receive 4% in Bitcoin, or is it calculated in the average price? No, your interest payment is always in the exact same currency as what you're holding. So if the price of Bitcoin skyrockets and you're holding 100 BTC, you still get that interest payment in BTC. So you're still taking price risk in Bitcoin. You're still getting the benefit of Bitcoin price going up, even with the interest you're receiving. I hope that makes sense. So if you're holding dollars, you get paid interest in dollars. If you're holding Ethereum, you get paid interest in Ethereum. And if you're holding Bitcoin, you get interest in Bitcoin. Everybody's with me. Okay, great. Thanks for the online finance lesson today. I've learned more than an MBA program? Well, thank you. It's not why I'm here, but if it's working out that way, that's great. Funny enough, I don't have an MBA. I actually worked at Goldman Sachs and sat on a trading desk for a bunch of years, and I feel like I got my MBA in finance sitting on a trading desk, which has served me better than sitting in a classroom. And it was a lot cheaper too, by the way. I have to pay for my MBA. Actually, Goldman paid for it while they were paying my salary on a trading desk. So you all get the benefit of that. We talked about DeFi. We talked about interest calculations. Let's see what else. Let me do a couple more demos here. I feel like I'm in a demo mood. Let's add some more money to. I'm going to clean out my TrueUSD into my interest account. So I have some TrueUSD here. I'm going to earn some extra interest. I want a few pennies on that. So I've already got a whole bunch of money in there. So I'm going to click on my interest earning TrueUSD. I'm going to click on add TrueUSD. I am going to click on use the entire balance. I'm feeling bold. So we're going to click on done, click on review and confirm. And voila, I now have confirm. Oh, sorry, we're temporarily unable to process transaction. Now we got it. Okay, we got it. It's done. And my TrueUSD balance has gone up. And I'm now earning interest on a larger amount of money. Now, this is an interesting thing to keep in mind. The balance that I had on Monday is different than the balance I had on Friday. So the Abra system is smart enough to know how much interest you're earning based on the balance each day. And as I said, remember, the interest compounds daily. Right? So the effective rate you're making over the course of a year would actually be higher. So that's a really interesting point about how the system works. And as I said, the favorite part of my Monday mornings is getting those interest push notifications to my iPhone. Okay, so we're coming up on 1 hour. Let me take one more question and then we'll call it a day. This has been awesome. How do I mentioned how you process withdrawals. Again, just go into the currency, click on the menu in the upper right corner, and you can withdraw the funds. Let's see. So we're getting some more duplicate questions. Thank you for this breakthrough product, Abra team. It looks like you put in a lot of hard work. Much appreciated. You're very welcome. That one coming in on my Facebook feed. And when you put holdings like Bitcoin from trading account to interest account, if Bitcoin goes up, does your Bitcoin in the interest account go up? Of course it does, because you're holding Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin is yours. You're not holding dollars. If you put Bitcoin in a Bitcoin interest account, it's Bitcoin. It's not converted to anything else. So if the price goes up, the value's gone up. If the value goes down, the value's gone down. It's all yours. The interest is paid in kind in Bitcoin. Okay? So hopefully that's clear. Again, if you're holding Ethereum, interest paid in Ethereum. If you're holding Bitcoin, interest paid in Bitcoin. And if the value of the Bitcoin goes up 10x, even in the interest account, the value of your Bitcoin has also gone up 10x. Okay? Hopefully that's clear. Okay, so it's 10 o'clock Pacific time, and it's Friday evening for our friends in Europe, and super late for our friends in Asia. So I think we will stop there. So thank you so much for all of the excitement around this new product. A special shout out to the Abra team, who's now distributed. Used to be Mountain View, but now working from home, sheltering in place, developing cool new products for us from their homes. You guys did an awesome job on this product. I'm so thankful, so grateful for the work you've done. Please check it out. Download Abra, upgrade to the interest account, sign up in the app, deposit some dollars, some Bitcoin, start earning interest today. And most importantly, tell your friends about it. We talk to our users about how they find out about Abra, and the number one method for finding out about Abra is from other Abra users. The word of mouth works. Tell your friends about it. We would be grateful. It helps us drive our cost of offering new features down. So the more users we have, the more stuff we can provide to you. So have a wonderful, safe weekend. Wear your masks. Call your mom. Say hello. And we'll see you next week on Money Talks. Keep the questions coming. hello@abra.com or on the interwebs. And we'll see you all soon. Have a great weekend. Take care, everyone.